Good morning. Welcome to Mornings with Patty. It's May 23rd. I'm reading from The Courage to Change. Sometimes the healthiest thing I can do for myself is to admit that I'm not perfect. I am human and I make mistakes. But it isn't always easy to admit this to someone else, especially when my actions and mistakes affects them. Sometimes I pretend that something never happened, or that it doesn't really matter, or justifying that action. It seems so much more inviting to me to say, but there is a price to pay if I refuse to own up when I've been wrong. And that price to pay is guilt. For years, I dragged guilt behind me like a heavy duffel bag, but there is an alternative, and that is to continue to take personal inventory. And when I'm wrong, I promptly admit it. When I admit the error, I take responsibility for my actions. I free myself from the burden of an embarrassing secret, and I move closer to accepting my imperfection. It becomes much easier to love myself if I accept myself as I truly am, mistakes and all. Today's reminder: today I will have the courage to look the truth in the face, admit my errors and my achievements, appreciate my growth, and make amends where I have done harm. It does take courage to look the truth in the face. Many years ago, I was in a group therapy session with about 10 people, and I said something snarky to somebody about somebody, and the therapist looks over at Skitch and says, "Say, Skitch, how did that make you feel when Patty said that?" And he said, just like it always does when she opens her mouth, "It makes me go numb. I feel unsafe." And I was like, I thought I was being funny. I had no idea that what I said was like that. And then a couple of days later, I go to my husband at the time. I said, "Why don't you share with me?" And he said, "Well, you're not exactly the safest person to share with." I'm like, oh shit, this is a pattern. And I decided in that moment to say, "I'm sorry I hurt you. And I've made a commitment that I will be a safe person." Now, it's been an evolution, to be sure. But notice what I did. I listened to the feedback. I apologized. And I made an amends by saying, "I will never do this again," by changing my behavior, by changing who I was. I used to be this really tough person who could never, ever admit that I was wrong. I could never, ever admit to anything because it felt like there was something wrong with me. And then little by little, I learned that it's okay to make mistakes. Well, sometimes I still struggle with it, to be honest. And it seems like I'm always apologizing because I never really want to hurt anybody. But the beauty of this is that it frees us from guilt, number one, by admitting it. Number two, it allows more love and compassion. And number three, I can see the behavior patterns in my life, or the unloving patterns in my life, that push people away, that alienate people. I want to be a safe space for people. I want to be a place where it's fun to be around me. I want to be a place where I can be open to new ideas and be loving. And I want that for you too. So think about today, something you may have done that harmed somebody, intentionally, unintentionally, consciously or unconsciously. Something that continues to show up in your life. And then go to that person wherever possible and make an amends to them and say, "Hey, listen, I'm really sorry I hurt you." Let that land. It may be received with gratitude, or it may be received with anger. Let it be the way it is. And then make an amends to say, "Listen, I promise I will never do this again because it hurt you so much. It hurt me too. And I'm tired of carrying this guilt around me because it was not my intention to hurt you." Try that. Follow me, subscribe, and let me know how that works for you and how it goes for you as you move through this journey. Thank you. Have a great day.